Hello. Yeah, second row. So that's a good question. Yeah, we kind of. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to book it. You said. Yeah. It might take to find the back of my actually. That was at the back door. So far, so that's
I get to welcome everyone here this evening and hand off to the person you really came for. Welcome to Enlight. This is our Skylon campus. We have 2 buildings here in Hereford and teach engineering. So welcome. If you'd like to learn more, come find me. My name is Steve Bertasso. You'll meet me a little bit later on. I am an associate professor here, and if there's any concerns in the building, come find me. Probably already saw them, but just for health and safety and everything. Toilets are right outside these doors. There's men's and ladies as well as disabled dues. So if you need those, they're there. Health and safety, if there is a fire alarm, it's real. We're not planning any tests this evening. So the fire exits are at the end of this hallway. You can exit through any of the doors here. There's one at the midpoint and of course where you came in at the front. And we muster just past the parking lot. If that comes to happen, we expect nothing like that. Last, if you are concerned about pictures and being posted on social media, please make yourself known to either Alex or you can let me know and we will make sure we don't include you in any pictures. So, without further ado, I will hand off to Alex and let him get us going.
Thank you, Steve. So I want to start off tonight by taking this back 10 years and basically going over my last decade. So the year was January 21st, 2015, and the year started probably much like most of us Brits do. Me and a friend of mine at the time, we decided to take on the journey of dry January. 19, 20, drinking was a big thing for us back at that time. So we decided to take on dry January and also get fit in the gym. Little do I know today, with the amount of exercise I do, it really was not much of getting fit in the gym. It was a couple of bicep curls and a few bench presses. So we decided to take on dry January and we decided to end it early basically. We got to January 30th and we decided we don't need to do another day, we've proven ourselves. So we decided to have a couple of beers for our mum and dad's house. And for somewhat reason we decided that was the night to taste gin for the first time. But not gin as we all know, where it's mixed with a nice tonic or some people have it with lemon. We decided to drink it neat, which was a bit of an odd thing to do. back at that time. So we went on out, and the night ended slightly different to how most people would. Probably ended up with a bar or some sort of greasy food in a taxi home. However, I decided to jump in a taxi and essentially, ready to go home. But a friend at the time, he was having a sort of disagreement with someone else, and so me being me, let's go and have a look what's going on. So I got out of the taxi and decided to say, look, what's going on? And this guy found, both me and my friend intimidated, which, as we saw later on, I actually met the chap. I found it really hard. We were two real skinny lads, as I say, just had our bump in the gym, and we decided that, what's going on basically. So this lad found us intimidated, and he decided to essentially assault my friend and me. My friend at the time ended up a bit better than me. He had a black eye, but I unfortunately ended up a bit worse. So I hit my head on the curb, I fractured my skull, and I had a severe bleed in my brain. Now, that day, I don't believe myself or any of my families would have ended up believing to be being stuck here in front of all of you people here today to tell my story. So here we are. So all I want to tell you is what happened after that and how I've ended up coming here today to tell you the story of the last decade. There you go. So the morning after, waking up in A&E, very, very confused. I think my mum said, "Come on now, you're just a bit hungover, being sick." But it didn't get any better, and it was almost basically ambulance doctors or air ambulance doctors doing it. The brain got a lot worse. And I also said to my mum, "Can't get out my left ear." She said, "Oh, it's fine, it'll just pop, just come back, as it probably does when you go on an aeroplane, basically." But as the days went on and I stayed in hospital, the hearing didn't come back. So I was taken down to get my hearing tested. And at the time that I went for my first test, the nurse that was with me at the time, or he was clocking off, he was doing his shift, and I was actually left with the poor chap who was testing my hearing, and he just decided to bugger off, and I fainted, having my hearing tested, and just ended up on the floor, another one of those moments waking up like, where am I? How did I get here? So we went back down there after and realised that I'd lost all the hearing in my left ear as well. So with a fractured skull, severe bleed in my brain, and all of the hearing in my left ear was gone forever. So technical, not sure how each one can go. We have these tubes in our ears, and they have a fluid in them. And once that snaps and the fluid drains down your throat, you actually swallow it. Apparently it tastes salty, but I feel like it tastes probably alcohol or gin probably from the night before. But yeah, once you snap that tube, it's not going back. Basically, you've lost your hearing forever in that ear. You can have advancements, cochlear implants, and some sort of bone conductor, but it wasn't something that I was really interested in at the time. So when I come back from this, I had to, in the hospital for 10 days, the rules were for me to leave. I had to make my own way up the steps in the hospital without any assistance. And we tried that for a couple of days, and eventually got to day 10, and I did it. And much like I still do today, I had there waiting for me at the end of the bed my skinny chinos, the check shirt, and the fancy robes, ready to go out, ready to conquer the world. So walked out of hospital 10 days later. Now, what I didn't realise that I was going to do was install in me this real disciplined mindset, what I'm calling Project Possible. What I had to do, because it was a hidden disability. So being deaf is a hidden disability. Having a bleed in your brain where you get severely fatigued is a hidden disability. And I had to overcome that, and people not being able to see it, what was going on. My friends said, "You're coming out, you're coming out." I'm actually an active guy, just trying to come out. So trying to navigate that, and what I had to do was really discipline my day, structure my day. And some might call it OCD now, people that maybe work with me or my friends and family, but what it had to do is install this discipline in me to structure my day. So I started looking at the fatigue clinic nurse, and she would basically say, "You can do this, and you're going to hit your limit." And what I've done from that is really try to understand what my limit is from that day forward over the last 10 years. So you can see a picture here, that's me on the left, filling my shirt from the night before, with a bandage around my head, because that's got staples in my head. And then the picture in the middle is me probably day 5, ready to get out really. But what I wanted to show you next was, this is me over the last decade. Well, these pictures aren't, these are not me. But the rest of the pictures here are me over the last decade. And what this Project Possible installed in me was to just really take my ceiling as far as I could. And some days I hit over the ceiling limit. And some days I hit burnout. For the last 10 years, I've been in 2 fantastic jobs. One which looked after me very well after my injury, and one that I'm still in today. And I'm always pushing my limits in there, but I was trying to push my limits outside of work. So, for no reason other than to test myself, here, anyone familiar with the FANRADS, the military test, which they do at the end? I went with Annabelle, wherever she is, on a Saturday, just to go and try it, basically. Why not? Let's go and try it. When we went over to South Africa for my brother's wedding, I decided to run a half marathon on the beach. That's tough. I said to my mum, I'll see you. I was trying to work out in my head how long half marathon, how long it's going to take. I said, I'll see you in maybe, I don't know, an hour and 10 on the turning point. Jesus Christ, the whole way there was wind against me, and every single step I took was half a step backwards. And that was tough. All the way from cold water plunging, summiting Snowdon, doing the 3 peaks all on my own. So I've driven up to Scotland, driven to Scafell Pike and Snowdon, and just tried to really take myself to the limit as much as I could. And that's really got to me where I am today, and where I'm able to deliver to you that I believe no matter whatever it is that you're going through, Project Possible is within all of us. And it's okay to go and hit the ceiling, it's okay to hit the burnout, but we can all get past that stage, and we can all see that something else is out there. It doesn't have to be climbing these hills or doing these long runs or jumping in the cold water. It could be just turning up to work every single day. It could be going and doing your food shop. It can be spending time with family. And if that's a challenge to you today, just have a think about how it is possible to go and see those people. So, who am I? I'm Alex. I'm 29, turning 30 this year. And this is really, as I say, a story by taking inside the 2 pictures. What I wanted to do tonight was introduce Andy's Man's Club to Hereford. And I also wanted to have 2 great men who are going to come and speak to me at the beginning of this session to tell you a bit about their story. And then I'm going to introduce to you what I'm choosing to be my Project Possible this time. Because Project Possible comes and you don't always choose what comes up to you every single day. And from that, I wanted to just share this quote here, which is from an ex-England rugby player. So he said, when the ball is up in the air, it's a perfect kid. It doesn't matter how great it looks, because there's no telling which way it's going to bounce when it hits the floor. That's a bit like life. You think it's going great 1 minute, and it looks wonderful, but you never know which way it's going to actually take you. And I think that's very true. And that might not just be with a run, that might be something with work, it might be something with a partner, it might be something with family, it might be financial. You never know which way that rugby ball is going to bounce. It's up to you to decide when it does bounce, which way you take it. I don't know if any of you scanned the QR code on the way in. If anybody hasn't, do you want to scan it now? We're going to do a little check-in to see how everybody's feeling tonight. And what I'm hoping to do by the end of it, once you see a couple of men up here being brave and vulnerable, we can hopefully change people's minds on exactly how they're feeling. So my question to you on the QR code is, how are you feeling today? So we've got a few different things coming up there. This is all anonymous, so nobody can see what it is or who's saying what. Good but tired. Great, happy, okay, relaxed. Epic. One of them is feeling epic at the end. I'm feeling a bit epic. Anxious. Okay, slightly down. I feel a bit frustrated. Good getting a good hit. Pretty good. Any more coming in? Happy, there we go. Very anxious. So some of the big ones there, anxious to hit a lot. It's good to know. Thank you for being open with that. Okay. You want to hold that one? So first of all, we're going to introduce and bring up the first speaker, the first interview that I'm going to speak to tonight. And his name is Ollie. Now, I met Ollie probably mid-November. I saw him on LinkedIn doing something much similar to what I'm doing now. And I thought, I've got to meet this guy. So spoke to him on LinkedIn and met him over at the Shelf, which is here where his family operate from. And I pitched the idea to Ollie about this event. He said, it sounds fantastic. And we shared quite a similar moment. And it was really sort of opening and enlightening to me and Ollie that just because I shared a vulnerable moment with him and he shared my back with me, we were two people that had been through a very, very similar experience together. And we both thought we were alone. And I'm sure Ollie will come up here in a minute and say, I don't know, maybe he thought he was alone as well, but I definitely did. And the point that I'm trying to make tonight is just because we did that, there's a lot more people in this room, there's a lot more people in Hereford that aren't alone with things that they've been through. So I wrote Mental Health Champion because when I saw him speaking on LinkedIn, he really was a champion. And yeah, I'm really looking forward to your hearing his story. So put your hands together for Ollie, please.
Such a great platform. I just want to say from the start, thank you. I think I deserve an extra round of applause.
Thank you for coming up here today. You were a bit ill this week, weren't you?
Yeah, I'm doing great. I'm really glad to calm. It seems to go to my head, so I'm really glad to break focus on that. Yeah, I'm glad I managed to come in and I think what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fantastic. Ollie, now I've got two questions for you, and I'm going to give you two quick fire questions, if that's okay. The first question I'd like to ask you is, can you share a moment in the journey where you found your lowest, and what gave you the strength to move forwards?
Wow, well, I guess for that question, it's out there, my story before that, so both people can share as I am. I grew up in a very business-oriented family. Many grew up in my parents, business. So from a very young age, I grew up wanting to be part of the business. So when I got to 13, I decided that I was going to try and help out in terms of the bookkeeping side. And so through the accounting software Xero, I became a certified advisor. Very quickly, is grew up. I ended up on stage at the Accent Limited at the age of 13 at their year conference. I set up my LinkedIn for a briefing type influencer. And although this is great, having so many eyes watching you, pressure comes with that. And it's as I grew up that pressure turned into anxiety. And no more so with that at the start of last year. So I was still in sixth form at the time, working towards my A-level exams. And I found it hard to connect with people, to socialize because of my anxiety. I was struggling with anxiety as much until then, until the pressure came along of the exams, on top of the fact that I had to be watching me, on top of the fact that I couldn't learn to pass my A-levels, to then go to university. So this all came to a head in my first exam. I walked in and I was feeling a bit nervous, but you could expect that for an exam, really, because it was out of the ordinary. But it was when I was about an hour in, I felt my breathing change. So I thought, this is odd, so I put my hand up. response. So then I could feel my heart pounding out of my chest. Finally, I get a refrigerator's attention and so I go out to the toilet. Yeah, of course. As I'm walking out, I suddenly start seeing stars in front of my eyes. I walk out of the doors, and the next thing I remember is being in the recovery position. I was told afterwards that I had crashed into a pile of chairs outside of the exam room and collapsed onto the floor about 6 inches off, hitting my head on the wall. So they obviously didn't know what state I was in, what to call afterwards, so I took an hour out, ended up going back and actually completing the exam. And I'd like to sit here and say, I'm sure this is strength for this, everything got better, but it didn't. In fact, it just made the anxiety worse. So when my anxiety got worse, I then tried to take things into my own hands. And so a few weeks later, I remember it was a Friday night, it was heavy thunderstorms. I'd never seen rain like it. I took a walk out of my house and walked out to Fishing Meadow. And when I stood at the riverbank, I wasn't sure where I was going to go home that night. I just felt like I couldn't cope anymore. I felt like the escape I had was to step forward and look behind. It was at this moment that I saw a swan, which was followed by another swan. And I thought, just to see things. And definitely 2 swans swimming towards me. And so I stepped back because I heard the swans are quite aggressive. Right, I stepped back, and at that moment, the people I care about started to arrive, started to look for me, saw I was at the river of operate. And for me, as much as I'd like to say the swans saved my life, in the end, it was the people around me who saved my life. Because they took me home, I got changed, I had a shower, I sat down, I was finally tall, and said, I'm sure that we admitted finally that I was struggling. And that for me was the most powerful thing I've ever done. Because suddenly some of that weight was just lifted. It wasn't a process. It wasn't. It was a crazy straight back into life. Happens. It's never perfect. But for me, I began to build my confidence back. People around me who helped me. And I'm so grateful for that. And so, only 6 weeks later, I was hosting Heritage Business Conference, which is through my parents' business. I was able to start a conference, and this year I was using my talk at the start to talk about my mental health and talk about my struggles. And it wasn't easy. Standing up in front of a room full of people at a meeting that I'd had these struggles in the past wasn't easy. But that is one of my proudest moments, which has come out of one of my newest moments.
Fantastic, thank you very much, Ollie. Thanks for sharing that with the room. The next question, it might be what you've already said to us, but what's the most valuable lesson that you've learned about managing mental health, and how do you apply it in day to day?
So for me, it is, as cliche as it sounds, it's just talking and meeting. It's sometimes quite hard to admit that you're struggling, because I know in the past, even myself, I realized, I can't admit it. It's weak. It's not weak. It's weak to not talk about it. So for me, talking about it and just talking, talking no matter what it is, whether it's a big problem, small problem, it's okay to talk. It's okay not to be okay.
Thank you very much, Ollie. The next 2 questions are quick fire. I think you've answered the second one already, but the first one, if you could give anybody in athletes out there, maybe silently struggling right now, a bit of advice, what would it be?
Yeah. It doesn't matter who it is. It doesn't matter if it's friends, family, a colleague. Just talk about it.
And the last question is, do you feel better when you talk?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Ollie. Round of applause for Ollie. Thank you very much, Ollie, for sharing that. That was, really inspiring for a lot of people. I've heard that story and that journey when you were on LinkedIn, the expert. But for everybody in the room, that's, really, really great for us to understand the end and talk about that today. So, the next guest, I've been colleagues and I'd say friends probably more than anything now. Well, we've been working together for probably just over a year, maybe 2 years, and I pitched the idea to him to actually host it at this venue. I was scratching around in my head trying to think where can I host this venue and have this event, and I forgot. I work here, I partner with this university, the job I work with, and the whole thing, and host it here. So I invited Steve to come along to share a Wagamama's with me, and I pitched the idea to him that I'd like to host this here. And all of the journeys and all of the stories that I've shared with Steve when we work together, it's just been really wisdom, really wise, and just really, really great to be around. So Steve works here at the end of my university. The guy that introduced himself at the beginning. So give us a round of applause to Steve, and more importantly, Annie. How are we doing, Annie? You feeling all right? Steve, how are we doing?
Doing well.
Yeah?
Glad to be here.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for the introduction. Thank you. And thank you for sorting out the venue and also allowing me to be here today.
Happy to have Alex here as well as everyone else. We'd love to invite the community in and get to know our fellow Para-40.
Fantastic, thank you, Steve. So we're going to ask the same questions to you, if that's okay. So the first question is, can you share a moment of your journey when you felt you were the lowest, and what gave you the strength to pull through?
So I think, like Ollie, I'll start with a little bit about my history. 15 years ago, I was completely able-bodied, no disability, no need for fancy wheelchairs or other devices. About 13 years ago, I noticed that I started tripping on everything. And as somebody who grew up working in construction, been in construction since I was 15 years old, the thought of becoming disabled scared me because that's my life. Took about 2 years to figure out what was going on. And about 11 and a half years ago, I was diagnosed with a rare neurological disorder that only gets worse with time. So I'll say that the initial was relief because you have that answer, you know what's wrong, you can now kind of attack it headlong. But within a few months, the reality sets in, especially as you start to lose the ability to do things in life. Whether it be, well, first thing I lost was the ability to run. Like Alex, I used to run a lot. I was active. I did things. Then a couple of years after that, I started to lose my ability to speak is fluency. And many of you might not realize how different my voice is today from 15 years ago, but it comes to struggle. And as those started to hit, I would say the lowest moment was when my partner at the time more or less sent me away for somebody else to fix me so I could come back and be a better human form. It was that realization that in a lot of ways I felt on my own, completely an island in life. But through that, like we're talking about, I learned to talk about kind of what was going on. I learned how to express things in a way that allowed me to talk about things without giving that negative feedback from those in my life that were negative. I say my partner at the time, she's now my ex, still the mother of my children, so I'm so proud of that. But for me, that lowest moment was realizing how much I was losing, and then how much more I lost as a result of that. Whether that was friends, partner, and starting all over again. But the biggest thing that got me through was learning how to talk about things and how to let those feelings be okay. So letting that loss, that mourning, that sadness, it's okay to feel that way. It's more what you do with it and how you.
Thank you for sharing that. So what would be a valuable lesson that you've learned to managing your mental health every day?
That every day is, as much as it sounds like a cliche, every day is a new day. And every day you need to realize and think about what you need. Great example of this. With the advent of social media and everything, we see lots of examples online of people speaking out and talking about things. And for me, a lot of times that actually is more painful to listen to because there's not a lot of reality in there. There's a lot of putting on airs to look better. And something I saw recently that really kind of translated things for me. I love music. Every type of music, whether it's musical theater, whether it's rock and roll, whether it's country music, metal, music really speaks to my soul in very important ways. And I recently heard a cover version of the song Mamma Mia by ABBA. And of course, the ABBA song is very upbeat, it's happy, although you listen to the lyrics, it's actually quite a sad song. But sometimes when we have those sad feelings, we need that happy, yeah, it's not great, but I'm going to be okay, I'm going to get through it, I'm going to move on, I'm going to make life happy again. So that's the version you want. The other version I heard recently was one that was very somber. And I love that version as well. Because in that moment, at that time, I needed to feel those. I need to get that into my soul so I can then get it out of my soul and move on to something. So I would say don't be afraid to feel what you feel. And some people will accept that and love you for it. Some people will struggle with that, and it's okay to move away. It's okay to distance yourself from those situations. But allow yourself to feel the things. But allow yourself to do it in a way that becomes productive.
I think that's a very valuable lesson. Thank you. You mentioned country music. I know you've got country boots on tonight.
Always.
Looking fantastic. So, quick fire question, Steve. If somebody out in the audience is struggling tonight, what kind of advice would you give them?
I think the first thing is find your outlet. For me, it's music. For somebody else, it might be going for a run, or it might be reaching out to a friend you haven't talked to. Find your outlet and lean into it, because that's what's going to get you through.
And do you feel better when you talk?
I do. I think that's been the biggest struggle. Mainly because, at least, and I think we all feel this way, the struggles we have feel like they're very isolated. We're on our own. We're the only one in the world that feels this way. We're the only one that struggles in this way. But it's not the case. We all struggle. So find that network of people that can support you at the same time that you support them. And I would say that what gets me through the most is when I kind of put my feelings, my concerns aside and step into that space for somebody else, so that they have that voice, that opportunity to speak about what they're going through. And they get that support, and at the same time, I feel better for paying that forward, which I think in today's society we don't do nearly enough.
Brilliant. Thank you very much. Everybody, round of applause to Steve. I've never known someone with so many air miles than Steve. He gets across all the countries. You can see him here on the London Underground. And I think in 1 week he managed to go to London, Paris to somewhere else, and Paris and London back. And he was back in NY building for midday on the Friday. So Steve's a great advocate of not letting something that has not anything that you've ever chosen. It's chosen him, and he's not letting it stop him. So Steve, you're an inspiration to all. Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to take a little 10-15 minute coffee break. Everybody needs to pop to the toilets. And when we come back, we're going to introduce Bart and Andy's Man's Club to the room. Okay, thank you very much. Keep on down, yeah. Yeah, I did take my 6 now, really, yeah. That's on Yeah. Okay. Welcome back, everybody. Hopefully you had some delicious fancy pre-form treats and so and some teas and coffees. So the second part of this talk is going to be based around Andy's Mansfield and introduce them to Hereford. And then I'm going to talk about a project possible that I'm choosing to do this time rather than it choosing me. But before I invite Bart up here to talk about Andy's Mansfield, I want to share a little sort of thing that I've noticed recently when I go to Homer Park and I go in the sauna there. So enter there, it's a sauna full of men. Everybody in there is sat with their sort of, chin in their hands, shoulders on their knees, not talking. And you can just see this stuff going round and round and round in their heads. Go in there a couple of days later, it's full of women. Take this the right way, women. You're yapping away. But it's good because you're talking, and you're talking about, I don't know, your son-in-law or your daughter-in-law, and you're not getting enough attention. You've lost your prized possession, and they've gone away, and they're now with, the other one's family, or you're talking about your bloody husband just won't do that thing that you wanted to do, or you've been asking for that shout up for weeks and just won't give it to someone else. But you're talking, and it's really, really good. Now, what I really want to do with Bart's and Andy's Mansfield is set up an environment here in Hereford where we can get men talking. And hopefully that will encourage us to talk a bit more in the sort of wherever we are. But if we can get an Andy's Mansfield set up here in Hereford, that's my mission with Bart's, we'll have an environment where men can come and speak and they can be vulnerable. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Bart's and tell you a little bit about Andy's Mansfield and his journey. And we're also going to run a little scenario here of how Andy's Mansfield works. You'll see that tonight. So, round of applause, Bart's.
Thanks, Alex, for bringing it along. Thanks for everybody's attendance tonight. Thank you for any boys that come from Manchester, very happy with any. So Anna's manager, can I just have a quick show of hands before Alex comes up in the area? Has anybody heard about Anna's manager before? That's quite a few people. I'm glad you haven't been able to. So for those who don't know, Anna's manager was set up in 2016 after Andy Roberts sadly died by suicide. It was set up by you, Amber, and Andy's mum, Andy Roberts, who wanted to set up a place, a safe place for men to go and talk. And also, by them talking, they wouldn't have to go through what they went through when they sadly lost Andy to suicide. The first group was held at the Halifax Football Club, where 9 men attended that first evening, that was 4th of July 2016. As of last Monday, we had over 260 venues across England, Scotland, and Wales, and over 5,700 men attending the sessions. As Alex said, it is proven that women do talk. It's not a sexist comment, nothing at all like that, and men don't. The reason why you made it men only was because men do tend to talk when they're in that environment, if they're given the tools to do so. As I say, we'll also around there north in Halifax. As the years have gone on, the organisation has grown. I have just literally started working in January for the organisation on the volunteer before. I was a staff member 38, so even there's 5,700 attendants, 38 members of staff, the rest all run by amazing volunteers, and some of them are here tonight as well as the attendees. What to expect when you go to an Anna's manager? They say the hardest thing to do is to walk through the door. Once you actually get through the door, you'll find somebody in like this got or a t-shirt. They're the facilitators, they're the volunteers. They will make you a cup of tea or a coffee, a bit like the lovely ladies did tonight. We love tea and coffee and Anna's manager, but this is so well. If we're new, the facilitator will go through how it's going to work. Different, every single Anna's manager across the country has the same 5 questions on the evening every week. You get split into a smaller group in some places, other places you stay in a larger group. Yeah, it's about 15 across the country, where a facilitator will have a talking ball. If you've got a talking ball, it's your turn to talk. You can say as much or as little as you want to. You don't have to talk and talk. A bit like Ollie said earlier, the thing you'll find about being in that group is that you realise that after a while, some people are talking. Even if you don't talk yourself, you realise that you're not alone in your thoughts. What I class as negative thoughts. You may have really positive thoughts, but getting them out brings the group back. When you then sit into the group, you will have chairs just like the facilitator will start, and the first thing they'll say is your first name and a positive reason for being there. From that, you then get question 1, even though you've done that bit beforehand. The first question is, how's your week been? Well, to find out your week's been good or bad, say whatever you want to say. Question number 2, name a positive for the week. If you want to get something out of that week, you can focus on and potentially go on to next week. And then question number 3, we do say is, some people say it's the most important question, but I call it the meat and bones. It's anything you want to get off your chest. There are 4 things we don't talk about at Anna's manager. The first 2 is politics and religion. No one in this world can get on with politics and religion, so we don't want to spend our money talking about it. Number 3 is medication, both prescribed or self-prescribed, purely because we don't want any influence on preaching. You may be qualified in medical, but you're still under that person's background to actually say they're in that group, so we didn't talk about medication. Another one is criminal matters. Anything you've been investigated for or being investigated for, purely because we cannot keep it confidential. If let's say the police were to come to us and say, "Did Bart say this?" then we go, yes. Everything else is said in the room is confidential and stays in the room. Nothing gets taken out of it unless you are going to be a harm to yourself or others that we deal with the services there. Any sweeping statements on those 4 rules is fine. You can say, "But I really rubbish week. I went to church on Sunday and now I feel a lot better." That's fine. I've got a court case coming up. It's really bothering me. I'm really worried about it. just can't go into the detail of what it actually is. After question 3, we have another group break bit like we did tonight. Told you I'd be tea and coffee and that can be just as important as the questions can be. Someone may have just said something in question 3 that they completely offloaded, they walked through the door, the weight on their shoulders, they've now got it off. Somebody may then want to show some empathy, somebody may have been through it themselves in the past or go through it at the time. It's a little bit like a networking thing. And it's just good to show the support of other people around you. After you've been for a few weeks, you start to show that more support. Then you come back in, and this is what we're going to run through in a scenario now, where we've got questions 4 and 5. They change every week. Those first 3 are always the same. Question 4 and 5 do change. So guys, can I have you, Alex, you two, come up, please? Can we have 2 volunteers? Possibly 1 male, 1 female, just so we can have female in the group that's willing to talk. They're not intrusive questions. You don't have to say what you're going through right now. But if you have a volunteer, that'd be amazing. Thank you. We have a female. We'll come up. Be part of this manager. Here we go. So rather than go through all those questions, I was saying Monday night, 7 till 9. We've got every Monday, bar bank holidays. We're just going to react. We've done the 3 questions already. Come back after the break. All I'm going to ask is just people to say their name and their reason for being here tonight. So I'm going to start off with the ball. My name's Bart. My reason for being here, my positive reason for being here, is because I like to get the thoughts out of my head, because they're better out in me building up inside.
Hello, can you hear me? Yeah. My name is Dan. I am one of the facilitators at Benny. I started doing when I was dealing with the sexual abuse of my son, we were foster child. I come now to offload, but also to learn different ways to cope with different things. Really insightful sometimes. I'm only 25, I've got 3 kids, so as most of you probably love and think, oh my God, what's he doing? You know, don't blame you. But there's still a lot of lessons we learn. I met some amazing people, probably double my age, but probably all of my best mates now, so that's why I still come back.
So Sean, one of the facilitators of Dragon Tap Benny. I'm sorry if you can't understand what I'm saying. I can't talk in source, you have to listen faster. I started attending Andy's Man Club in Abergavenny 7.5 years ago. I attempted my life. Thank goodness I was crap at it. So I'm still here. But on a serious note, the reason why I come to Andy's Man Club every Monday is to sit and listen. Because if you think you've heard it all, just come to Andy's Man Club at 7 o'clock till 9 o'clock on Monday, and you would be absolutely amazed of how much confidence people gain in just sharing and then knowing they're not on their own.
Cheers. So Alex, or Stuart, I attended the Halloween actually, and it was my first attempt at attending. I wanted to attend for a couple of weeks, but I wasn't in the best position. I attended the week where I was really good. I had this sort of idea about this anyway, but I tend to sort of know that you're not alone, and also to just be a room of great men and to let them make sure that they don't feel they're alone either. By you being there, you can do the same thing. To the person in the room, which makes them feel like they're not alone. So it has been a real life moment for me since I attended in November. And yeah, as these guys said, it's fantastic. I didn't expect to be up here tonight. Hi, my name is Paul, and I wanted to volunteer to come up. I've spent for the last 5 years training to be a therapist, which I've qualified last September. So I actually aim my private practice at men. So it's fantastic to see so many men in my room, and I think we are part of what I think is a big wave coming in, certainly to guide guys. And I really appreciate everything you guys do.
yeah, thank you very much.
So I'm Jules, I'm Alex's mum, and I think in my line of work, I recognise that I work with a lot of young boys, males, that struggle and they can't talk. So I try and encourage them to talk and think by watching Alex and learning about understand stuff. It's something that I can take back to work and put that forward.
So now we're going to go through an example of what question number 4 is. This one came out at the start of the year, so I have to do that and it is, what is something you enjoy doing, you'd like to do more of in 2025 if you have a chance. Mine, and we've got to keep it clean before we see the boys. Keep it clean. Mine's paddleboarding. I love it. I'm not an active person. I've done cycle and all the bits and pieces. But last year I got my paddleboard at work, so this year I'm going to get my paddleboard because it's just nice just to go along the canal river and just chill out and just feel what a class is living in the river.
I've already got 3 kids, so I can't say what I'm going to do. I'm a dog. I have got a dog as well, because it's Spaniel. What I think my aim now would be to take more risks. So I've got a nice, secure job, practice law, lovely, everything's great. And so in 3 months' time, I'm packing an audit to deal with. Why? You ask? Why? I don't know. And you try to please so many people, it just gets overwhelming. And so I thought, well, give it a go. You won't know what happens to this day. I may be stupid, but it's a lesson I'll learn. Eventually, I'll probably end up back in law in about 2 years. So we're doing it.
So the thing I'm going to continue in 2025 is to, I'm in a privileged position that I can give back lots. So I'm part of a club not far from here called the Mobile Group. We meet with disadvantaged and not very well children. And some of the children have got between 5 days and 5 weeks left to live. So we were up in Shorten Airfield, not far from here in Leicester, on the weekend, and putting smiles just on those children's face, probably for the last time. So I'm going to continue to give back.
I realised probably maybe 3 months ago, so my role was very creative in my current job. I work in a private society people homes. I took over the role of managing the team, and I love it. I'm a big people person, and I love getting the best out of individuals. But I was using not that creativity, never creativity in my life anymore. So I want to start playing with sort of photography, video editing, from when I was younger. So what am I going to do if we find difficult creative again?
Something I'm going to do is actually push myself out my comfort zone. I actually get social anxiety, which is huge, not scared at the moment. But now it's like massive when I was actually right. So that's all I can say for that. But yeah, it's very good.
I do work to learn methods and get to games just to keep up with Alex again. Because yeah, it's fast.
So just explain that question 5, please. First, they walk through the door, to the walk through the door with broken shoulders. They use all the questions, they use questions for you to get it online. Question 5, you say always ends on a positive. We like to end on a positive. It's always a quick fire. So it just the ball gets passed around quite quickly. With it, it's sometimes you have to put, especially if you have everyone keep it clean. But one example I'm going to use, one question, for example, would be, or another question would be, what's your favourite sandwich for them? If you know a sandwich right now, what would you say things happen? And just pass it on, right? One that comes around every few months, say every 6 months, and some of the guys go, oh, it's like, oh, that question again. It's from the new guys that come in and we like it. So here's a question, 5 nights. What is your guilty pleasure song? So a song you like that you don't think you should. I'm being a facilitator, so I got to go first. So mine is, I don't like any of the other music, I'll even admit that, but Justin Bieber, Love Yourself, is my guilty pleasure song. There's just no judgment.
The boys will know that I love King. I don't feel any ground. I know anything King is my go-to.
Anything that's not James, right? And Dan probably talking to on Monday after the 99. But unless you guys I don't know who's saying it, but I remember words I want to bring through.
I bet you don't be watching that. It is guilty pleasure. But I was going to say, I'm a big fan of myself. I do love Mariah Carey bars.
I do like a bit of Boyzone still.
Even if I'm going to show it to them. Thanks for that, guys. There is no judgment on this matter. It is that last question. Everybody smiled or laughed when they heard someone say a comment, or when they even thought about it, you could tell that there was a smile on people's faces. So that guy is walking through the door with a rug on his shoulders, he's walking out a little bit later, and that's exactly what Anders Michael does. I would say if you could bottle what happened to Anders Michael up and keep it there, keep it in the bottle, you can sell it for millions of pounds. As soon as you open that bottle, it's worth nothing because it would work. What happened in those rooms, as I say, stays in that room. We say we are there to help that one man. The guys have said it, someone said it in their intro. I am that one man as well. My story, Paul said about the anxiety. I'm anxious up here now, I've got to try my to be honest with you, but I've got what I call function anxiety that I will get up and do it because if I save one man's life in this room or anything I go and talk to it's worth just going for that bit of anxiety. I've learned that trick 5 years ago. If you asked me to do it, not to chance. I said, yeah, I'll do it. On the day, I'm told the car's broken down or I can't get there or something on the go. I'm going to find an excuse. I always had that anxiety. 2022, I found out that my relationship broke down. Mainly to my mental health, mainly to who I was and what I was doing. I was hiding, I was thinking I was burden to people, I had a mask on telling people I was okay. The relationship broke down, that was the story broke coming back, and I ended up attempting to take my own life. From that, my parents found out, and my mum found out this might come online. I went on down to the one, I'm from Bristol, you can probably tell my dodgy accent. And I went to the one in Gloucestershire cricket ground, walked through the door, cried my eyes out, walked out a bit later, later. One thing I remember from my first night, that night sleep I had, the best night's sleep I ever had. Just because I just got that little bit out of there, just released that pressure, I went to bed. Different. How am I going? 6 months later, someone asked me if I wanted to become a facilitator. Absolutely, I wanted to give back. I still wasn't 100%, now, but still wasn't quite 100% right. Still have my mental health issues. But that being asked to do that gave me a purpose, gave me something to do. I've always got a fault. That facilitator made me feel like, oh my God, I made an impact here. Like 6 months, 8 months after that, the lead facilitator had to move away. And me and another guy were asked if we wanted to lead the group. Said yes. And then last summer, the job came out for the other lead for the
West Country and South Wales. I applied for it. I was lucky enough to get it. People who do my job have attended handling facilitator at Anders Mountain. I'm not here to sell Anders Mountain. I'm not here to, I don't have to sell it because I know it works myself. We don't push people through the door. We say, once you come through the door, you have an arm around you, we want to look after you. It's not for everybody. We admit that as well. Some people might find it difficult talking about dark things. But we say, give it 3 weeks, see how you are after that 3rd week. If you still don't think it's right for you, we won't come chasing, we won't come knocking on your doors. It's free of charge. There's no booking, there's no referrals. It's for men over the age of 18. If, as we know, Alex is hoping to settle up in Hereford, if you know of any businesses that would like a presentation from myself or the facilitators in the area, please, at the end, take a business card or a leaflet, take a wristband as well, send an email to info@, rather than email me like that, send it to them, they will then pass it on to the area lead, so if it was this area, we need to go and do it. But we want to build up what we do and why we do it before it actually used in the area, because we want the guys in the area to know we're there to support them. Say about the leaflets and the business cards, can I ask, like everybody, whenever I do a presentation, I want to ask everybody in the room to take them. The reason why I ask everybody to take them, I don't care if you want 10 cents or anything, it's not for you. That's why I don't care if you do that. But there could be one man in this room, that one man, they will actually need that card, it would be embarrassed to get it on his own. So if we all take one together, even the females, it will help that one man, and he could then potentially walk through the door. For the time being, we do run online as well. Every Monday, 7 to 9, but exactly the same way as the group. You need to give us more details than just your first name, because for any safeguarding issues, for any time you're taking a harm yourself or others, or be at risk to yourself, we need to get relevant services involved. So you take your name, email address, and telephone number, whereas when you just walk through the door at night, nothing's taken. One thing I do love about Monday night as well, and apart from when we got it on when it started, my phone's been in my bag over there. I'm not been checking it every 5 seconds. It's lovely to get away from that mobile phone device for 2 hours and just talk with like-minded men. You don't have to be suicidal to attend Anders Mountain Club. It is a peer-to-peer support group to there to talk and to listen. Do you think I've missed anything on that? Yeah? All right. Anybody got any questions for me before I continue?
Yeah, can I ask, do you think there's a need for one in Hereford? I can say that these guys who come to me, I've tried to set up in Hereford for the last 3.5 years. Right? Hitting brick wall after brick wall after brick wall. If anyone would like to think about setting one up, please come and see me in Barts after. We'll give you the information. You've only got to come and attend us with us at Abergavenny or anywhere local. And Abergavenny isn't most one half an hour down the road. Yes, you've got to break through that barrier called Wales. It's not that bad. If you go that bridge to the traffic lights, it does get fresh in the air. But you know, after the next 3 months, so you can get that. Absolutely. If you want to come see me, if there's something spark your mind tonight, you think I'd like to get involved. Speak like with a jacket on, any of us on this road, you know, we'd love to help, we'd love to talk, because believe it or not, it's okay to talk.
Thank you. Just, sorry, say yeah.
Let me say it real quick. That Ed Mike, we have already talked about the post location, and if there's interest, there is going to be a place.
Excellent, thank you for that, Steve. We're here to do the events. Alex is here to base Project Possible, but it also runs alongside Anders Mountain Club, Mission Possible. When you just quickly talk about Mission Possible, the League Outward Find member is doing all 5 Ironman events in this country. There's 3 half Ironmans, 2 full Ironmans. What Alex is doing is physical. I've done my own Mission Possible, which is to achieve 10 pull-ups. You go on social media, search me out in the bars, and find me in the gym trying to do it. I better do one. By the end of the year, I will be doing 10. That's my Mission Possible. So about what you can do today, you think you can do by the end of the year. So our Mission Possible, along with Project Possible, is something we're working on together. With that, it doesn't have to be physical. One guy in one of the clubs, his Mission Possible, he's been married for 25 years, he's been around the country. Here's Mission Possible by the end of the year to cook 3 course meals from scratch. So it doesn't have to be physical, it can be done this week as well. If you do any of that to help Alex, to help us, put it on social media, hashtag Mission Possible, hashtag Project Possible, it will get out there and it will get help them talking. Yes, we are met only now on a Monday night, but proven that Ben Go, they are a better person than they need. They're different in their life. We've had partners thank and his manager for sending their husbands come along and they come out. The one thing I do say, and I'll say it every event, HQ had an email out into that from an 8-year-old girl whose dad had been attending for 3 months. And she thanked Daniel Banker for giving her dad that. So it does work. It does work. It is just remember the 7 to 9, but the rest of the time is remember. Thank you very much.
Bart. The guys from the journey. Thanks, it's been great. Cheers, Mark. Well done. Get up here. Fantastic. So yeah, everything that Bart says, if you hang around after, we'll chat to him. So coming towards the end tonight, I mentioned that Project Possible or anything these things they come up upon when you don't expect them really. So what I'm trying to do with this along the side of Mission Possible is create my own Project Possible, which is my running basically. So what I'm saying this time around is Project Possible, I choose you. So I'm choosing to put myself through something this time rather than putting me through something. So I'm going to just share a little 5-minute video here. There's a fantastic filmmaker in the room that shot this with me and we edited it on the same day. I'm going to ask you to all look at that screen because this one's delayed, so just turn that off. Which will tell you a bit more about it. And we filmed this back in September or November. I remember off my head. But anyway, you're going to watch this and I'm going to tell you a bit more about the runs. Hope it's not too loud.
Alex, so we're here on the sugar load. And instead of 400 meters, we're 400 meters up. But you've got a big project starting next year. So
yeah, next year, I'll be running 3 ultramarathons over the course of 3 months. And it's a big challenge for me because 18 months ago, I had a project disc in my back and I was stopped for running, which is a thing that keeps me so, moving every single day.
You've done a marathon before, and what you were right, so you haven't done that sort of distance with that up where we're going now.
I worked out yesterday, Chris, the overall elevation, the same as 21 and 5 step buildings, that's not all together.
But you've got, you do this project, it's not just about you, you're trying to invent awareness about moving health and stuff. And I guess you're interested in the importance of running.
Yeah, absolutely. I think everyone should find something that counts down. The running is definitely something that's about me. So, there's a charity that I'm going to be working with, and we're going to manage those. It's an awareness group that makes mental health. And the goal is to raise a good amount of funds for them. I think on those trickier parts of the road, when I'm struggling a little bit, I'll be thinking about that. There are people that can come, just talk a bit more, really.
Yeah, absolutely. It's probably so many people that I run with. I think so many of the careers as well, but we're all doing it for our business and everything. But everything is for our mental health, it's for our mental health. Yeah. But it's amazing that something like just putting one foot in front of the other continuously is somehow in those first 2 miles, first 5 miles of the project.
Yeah.
But then something
That's good. Tuesday night, straight up the road after work, this day, or a Sunday or a weekend out of the house, whichever way it is. And I think the community part is a really big thing for progress. Being around people and learning you're not alone.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it is a big challenge, but I said to the people today, the race days are going to be the challenge. It's
also your body's down, have I done the right training, nutrition, and then whether it be your favourite song or seeing a loved one at a checkpoint, something will spur you back up into that place of completely dry and ready to go again. But I think the part that I've never experienced before, Chris, is when I cross the line on the first two, I'm going to be thinking I've got another one in 3 weeks. That's new to me because normally it's just like, thank God, the training is done. The race is done, I've done it. But I'm only come on the third one.
So you've got to be quite careful on that first one. If you go off too hard, and you might lose your train and threat. But if you go off too hard, your body's going to take another 3 weeks to recover.
Yeah. And if those training plans are all just wouldn't encounter a 3 week previous option.
Alex, thank you so much for this morning. Thank you for sharing your story with me. And for being able to follow your lecture.
Yeah, sure. It's going to be Instagram page for Solid Project Hospital Day. And there's going to be a Just Giving page where you can donate to the charity Andy's Land Club. So follow me there, keep up to date with the story. And I'm sure we'll have some social charity events coming up next year.
Brilliant. And we can maybe do another one of these later on. Here we are. We've made another go on these things.
So I'm choosing to do the Project Possible this time, it's not choosing me. You mentioned quite early in that video that about 24 months ago I had a bulging disc in my back and I was basically had to stand or lie down. It was horrible. It stopped doing the thing that stimulated my mind the most for running. But I also mentioned in there, and also Steve mentioned earlier, it's not just the running. Think what works for you. It doesn't have to be running, it can be anything, but find the thing that works for you. So just to wrap up tonight, telling you a bit more about my Project Possible in 2025, alongside Mission Possible with Andy's Marathon. I'll be taking on 3 ultra marathons. A few stats of those ultra marathons. The first one takes place on the 7th of June. It's a 40-mile ultra marathon which goes along the coast from Porthcawl to Penarth with 2,800 meters of elevation. So yeah, quite interesting. We've actually walked some of that coastal path before. We go along Barry Island towards the end and finish at Penarth. The second one, I'm just going to turn this one back on. The second one is a 30-mile ultra, local to the Aberdeen Boys. And that one goes up over the Sugarloaf, goes over the Ponch. I don't think it goes over the Skewers. The Skewers on the right hand side here, and that's 5,416 feet elevation. So each one's going up in elevation. And the last one, big one, 50 miles. This is unknown territory for me. I've ran 40 miles before on the road, and I've done a 30-mile on the hill before. This is the Project Possible. The first 2 in my head, they're okay. I've done them before. And I think like anything in life, if you see someone who's done it himself before, you think, yeah, I can do that again. But this is the Project Possible. The last one. That one is actually in the that one's in the second book. Sparks, that is in North Wales, Wales. It's a big loop called the Eden Loop. And hikers normally take about 3 days to do this loop. I'm going to be running it in a day. So it's 50 miles, which is 8,618 feet of elevation. Now, a few stats for you on all 3 of them combined. 130 miles is the width of Scotland and its furthest points. That's how far I'll be running over those 3 runs. The elevation is equivalent to twice the depth of the Grand Canyon. And this one surprised me the most when I found it out. I'll burn enough power to run a typical home for 5 to 6 days. That's crazy. Now, this journey that I'm going on won't be possible with some close friends and family, but there's also 2 people in the room that I want to give a big shout out to tonight, but also someone else in the room who have to get back to it. That's Holly. Thank you very much, Holly. couriers, they are fantastic, really great recruiters. A couple of them yesterday, so thanks for coming. But two people that are taking me through this journey today. The first one, Smart Performance Coaching, that's Darren. You can see he's got a sign up here. So yeah, brand new sign for today, wasn't it, Darren? Fantastic. So Darren is actually coaching me for these runs, and I've got to say, I thought it was a good runner before. I thought I trained hard before, but he's putting me through my paces now, and yeah, really wrapping it up. So thank you very much, Darren. And the second person in the room is Meg Massage. Meg has been massaging me now for, I think, 4 sessions. Is it, Meg? Yeah, about that, yeah. And the one that we just recently had, she said, yeah, your body's stressed. I thought, I wonder why that is, because this is coming up. So, a little injury at the moment, but we think that was because of a bit of a stress in the body, sort of anxiety for this event again today. So, that is my Project Possible alongside Mission Possible for this year. What I want to just do now, before we finish, is do a check-in and see if there's any of the answers changed or how we all feel about tonight. And how are you feeling now about yourself and the evening? If anybody's lost it, you can scan it now. So we got inspired is the big one. There's been a few people posting that. Proud, motivated, awesome, happy, driven, empowered, more epic. More epic, I like that. It's been epic before. Happy for you, thank you. Swell, content, optimistic. Well, that's not just me that's made that potential change in the room. It's everybody that's been here tonight. Ollie, thank you very much for coming up and telling the journey. Steve, thank you very much for coming up and telling the journey. Bart, and the chat from Madeline, thank you very much for joining us here tonight. Thank you to everyone who's helped me out so far. You want to just hide them. So I just want to re-share the quote I shared at the beginning, and I've added in my part. So Joe Marler said about which way the ball bounces, and it's very true. You don't know which way it's going to go. Well, I've added my part into there, and how that ball bounces and how you react to that bounce will shape you. It's up to you. And some days, the ball will bounce the way you don't expect it to, and you'll go down with it. And some days it'll go the other way, you'll go up with it. And that's okay. Talking about that is okay too. What's coming next in Project Possible? We're going to be hosting a spin-a-thon to raise money for Andy's Man's Club. We have done really, really well today so far, and thank you to everybody that's donated. We're going to be hosting a spin-a-thon on May 17th from 7 till 7. There's 29 bikes available. If you'd like to put yourself forward to get a team together, it's going to be £80 per bike. The event's going to be sponsored by Fluidmaster, a fantastic company in Rockwood that have helped me out so far with some generous donations. So I'd like to give a big shout out to them, and they're going to help me forward. I'd like us all to just finish with a quote from Robin Williams, which I think probably most people in the room have seen before. Everyone you meet is fighting a battle that you know nothing about. Be kind. Always. It's very true. Anybody in this room might be going through something right now that you don't know anything about. I think everyone here tonight has been kind and everyone's been generous, everyone's been together. But it could be anybody that you cross in the streets or anywhere, in any aspect of life. If there's someone in your family, if there's someone at work, if there's someone in a social group that maybe you haven't checked in for a while, I ask you to go and check in with them. Check in with them tonight, check in with them tomorrow, and ask them if they're okay. But ask them again, the second time, are you okay? The British way is to go, yeah, I'm good, I'm fine. And normally that's a sign that they're not fine. So check in twice, check in 3 times. And if you haven't told somebody you love them recently, go and do that too. Why not? Let's get everybody feeling good about themselves. We are aiming, or I am aiming, to raise £10,000 for Andy's Man's Club. Bart's not going to tell me, if I went on the website, I couldn't see anybody who's raised that much before. That is my target, that's my mission. It's my mission possible. Okay? We've had some generous donations so far, but yeah, that's my goal. And that's my shooting because it might be possible, but it's my goal by August 2nd to have a club set up in Hereford. I'm going to do everything in my power to make that happen. Okay? Thank you everybody for coming tonight. Thank you for hearing my story and everybody else's story. And let's share the story together. What I'd like to do before we finish, me and Bart at the front here, I want everybody to do the anti-master logo. Get a selfie. That's okay. We'll share it. You want to put there?
If you don't want to be in the first row, I will run at the door or whatever.
So if everybody can do that, we're going to get the hands up and maybe start on the chair. Are we ready?
After three, everybody. 1, 2, 3. It's okay, let's all. Come on, Rob.
Nowhere. Breath reaction. They won't take the escape plan. Yeah. Oh, there we go. Cheers. A bit embarrassed with On the light. Well, sit down. There it comes there, actually. There's a rush out. So Ancelotti put some training camp pictures on it. So I literally just had to like find wherever I am. Cut this one out, stick it on the door, so there you go. You wouldn't mind, mate, would you?